Over the weekend, Paul George was suspended 25 games without pay for violating the league's anti-drug policy. In a statement to ESPN, George said he took improper medication while dealing with his mental health. George will be eligible to return March 25th at home against the Chicago Bulls. So what does Paul George's suspension now mean for the 76ers? Wendy.
Well, it's obviously not a good thing because the Sixers were just beginning to really ramp up, and Paul George has been playing some very good basketball. You know, his role is not what they thought it was going to be when they signed him. Because basically Tyrese Maxey has become the team's, centerpiece. But Paul George is having a great shooting season. In fact, he had a game last week where he made 9 3-pointers. And spreading the floor out for Joel Embiid and VJ Edgecombe and Maxey is very valuable to the team. That said, if you're looking at the other side of it, this team has gotten used to playing without Paul George. They do have, a number of wings on the roster that they can lean on during this stretch. So they start a tough West Coast trip tonight here in LA against the Clippers. So that's going to be a challenge right out of the gate here. And this sounds, weird, but, and the fact that it costs Paul George $12 million, no joke either. But the struggle with Paul George is keeping him healthy. And so one thing that if you're looking for a benefit is, he'll come back late in the regular season. It increases the chances of him staying healthy, even though this is obviously something very difficult for him to deal with.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think they, similar to the conversation we were just having about the Lakers, the Sixers know what the future is, and that is around Tyrese Maxey. Could Paul George be beneficial? Yeah. The Knicks just played them last week when they had all three, Embiid, George, and Maxey. They did manage to get the win, but you can see sort of what the vision was with if all three of those guys are healthy and available. But I'm with Wendy. To have him back late in the season, healthy, I don't know the details of the suspension. I assume he still can be around. I don't know for sure, but if he's still a part of team activities and, leaning his veteran expertise, that's a positive, especially for a guy like VJ Edgecombe, right? Like, their games are not similar, their size is different, but he is a rookie who's been fast-tracked in terms of being able to be a productive member of the Sixers early in this one. This is sad. There's a lot of questions I have around it because mental health is something that we take very seriously. I have a hard time with how this has come down because I would think that the league would want its players to be in the best position possible mentally and physically.
Well, listen, Paul George, obviously, when healthy, was a terrific player. And he's one of the best people, I think, that you can cover in professional sports. He's class personified. So when you hear something like this, you feel bad because he accepted accountability for it. Obviously, he's got some issues going on with his mental health, and he was taking some medication, and evidently he was mistakenly doing so. Nevertheless, we still have an obligation to look at what kind of effect it's going to have on the Philadelphia 76ers. If you're a Sixer fan, you've been disappointed. He didn't play too many games last year. Now he's going to miss games, an inordinate amount of games already. This is after having left knee surgery in offseason and missing games at the start of this season. They're 16-11 when he plays with them this season. They're 11-10 without him, okay? But this is the same guy you signed to a 4-year, $211 million contract. You expected more. And even with Joel Embiid not necessarily healthy, he's averaging like 34 over the last 7 games. He's averaging 26 on the season, okay? And in the end, he's playing more games than Paul George. That's not a good sign. But I will say this, Paul George being out, Wendy, I don't necessarily agree with you in terms of him having a terrific shooting season. I know he's come on a couple of games as of late, but he's shooting 42% on the year. 38% from three-point range is not bad, but 42% from the field, that's certainly not what he usually shoots. So I wouldn't say he's having a great shooting year. He definitely is somebody that benefits the 76ers when he's on the court with Embiid and Maxey on the rare occasion that he is. VJ Edgecombe can use this as an opportunity, hopefully, at some point, to capitalize off of it. He is giving you 15 a game. I'm just of the mindset that, again, this is not a plus. It's not the minus that everybody thinks it could potentially be because that gives him additional time to rest his body, get himself in shape, and be ready because they're the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. They're expected to make, to be in the playoff picture. And if Paul George misses these 25 games, obviously so, once he comes back, he certainly will have his body rested. Right. He should be even healthier than when he departed, and who knows what that can translate into. But as of right now, this is not news that you want to hear if you're the Philadelphia 76ers, not with the money you doled out for him. I can tell you that much.
One thing I will say, you certainly aren't wanting a $50 million 3-and-D player, but a 40% three-point shooter who defends like him is important for a team. What will be interesting between now and Thursday, this money that Paul is coming out of Paul's pocket, it actually favors the 76ers because it reduces their luxury tax bill immensely. The last couple of years, when Joel Embiid has been injured, the Sixers have made moves at the deadline to get under the luxury tax, which they actually could do again here because they're now so close to it. But now that they've gotten a little bit of extra space, will they make a move to add to this roster? And then there's another potential offshoot that could happen out of this that they can try to spin it into a positive. We'll see.
Okay, so there's an interesting wrinkle. The Sixers, by the way, on the road for their next 5 games, doing the West Coast road swing. After the break, SGA and OKC with a statement win.
I don't know how you guys celebrated, or perhaps didn't, but yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of Shams tweeting that the Mavericks had traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers, along with Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris, for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and 1 first-round pick. It's been a whole year, Lou. Assess. Worse, better, exactly what you expected a year later that this thing looks?
About a little worse off than I thought it would be. I thought the Lakers,
okay.
well, just a tad, because I thought this would put them in a top 3 conversation in the West.
Oh, interesting.
And so, them being in 6th place, kind of teetering around there. They started this year.
So worse for the Lakers?
A tad. Well, are we comparing?
No, I think most people would have thought when I said worse, you meant
well,
Dallas.
Obviously, Dallas,
Well, we had no expectations.
Yeah, I'm not going to kick a man while he's down. Like, Dallas is having a tough run. They're still trying to find their footing in all of this, and so we don't have to revisit that part of the trade, right? I think that's fair to say. So we look at the Los Angeles Lakers and we look at Luka on the other end, and so I would say, the Lakers still got some work to do, but I think in the long run, this still works out in the Lakers' favor opposed to Dallas.
Yeah, I think the Lakers got the better end of the deal, and the reason I say that it isn't about who accomplished more after the trade. It's more so just the Lakers. They are healthy. They do have a chance to compete, and the Mavericks. We never got to see it on paper.
No,
it never came together. So just with that alone, you have to give the Lakers the benefit of the doubt. But in a hypothetical world, if we could have ever seen, what the Mavericks look like after the deal was done, I think this is a different.
And healthy. We still haven't seen Dallas healthy as well.
At all.
Yeah, so just based off that alone, you have to give it to the Lakers.
Yeah.
What kind of grade would you give the Lakers? Actually, you know what? We'll do both. What grade do you give the Lakers now that we've had a year of this? And then what would you give Dallas? And given all that you've just said,
I would give the Lakers a B+. And Dallas is. Based off everything that's
still in playoff contention. You got to give that a B. They're still in playoff contention.
you give Dallas a B?
No, Lakers.
Oh, yeah, B, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't give Dallas no B, did you?
No, I thought you were saying give Dallas a B. No. And then obviously Dallas, whatever failing grade you can come up with,
Whatever failing grade you could come.
Yeah, No, you got it.
I think that's
fair.
Your grading system.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Obviously, Luka was he was a hero there. He was somebody that was revered, that they loved, and they felt strongly about. You got all the backlash about Nico, and you eventually fire him. You still don't have a healthy Anthony Davis in uniform. You still don't know what it looks like to have Kyrie and all of those guys together. So none of these things have come to fruition for Dallas, so you can't give them a passing grade.
Well, hold on. But they did, and granted, this was the basketball gods blessing them, but they did get Cooper Flag. I feel like that's worth at least a 1-letter grade up, no?
Yeah.
I think that's a conversation for, more so down the line. It's hard to make judgment on a rookie in his rookie season. You know what I mean? So I think everybody knows this kid is going to be really, really good in the NBA, but do we know if he turns into a Luka Doncic in the next 3 to 4 years?
Yeah.
That's still in the air. We don't know. So is he good
still
right
a lot
now?
to be done. Still a lot to be done for it to be considered in
Yeah.
this conversation we're having.
So I think this is a fair question, and you can break down all the different first-round picks, who has what and all that, but we also know LeBron's age. We know the Lakers aren't going to look like this forever. Who's closer to winning a championship, Dallas or L.A.?
L.A., obviously. They're a playoff team right now. I think Dallas is in the process of, rebuilding, figuring out who they want to be moving forward. And, subtracting and adding pieces to their team. So obviously the Lakers are closer right now, but this is still a conversation for the next 3 to 4 years.
And if
We
you're
don't know what happens first.
And
you
if
know?
you're having a championship conversation around Dallas, you're hedging your bets on two guys that are still unavailable.
Sure.
And Kyrie and Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis is in trade talks. You don't even know if that's going to be the identity of the team. So you got to give it to the Lakers.
I don't think
I'm
I
sure
do.
Kyrie will be eventually as well.
I think, but LA's got a bunch of free. I don't know, guys. I think if we're talking,
But you
because I don't
gotta-
think either one's close to winning one at all. So I'm looking at like 5 years
But
from
who's
now.
closer?
LA's all free agents. Like they're going to have
Well, I'm
who's
not
going to be
looking-
left?
well,
Luka and Austin Reeves.
You can't look 5 years ahead.
I have to. I mean, granted, we'll all be dead. But I do think that somehow, some way, 5 years is where we're looking for either one of these teams to even be in the conversation to win.
Then you got to start, if we're going to look 5 years ahead, then I'm going to start where I am today. And I'm going to assess it from there.
Well, that's because you're the optimist and I'm the pessimist.
Well, there you have it.
We got to take a quick. Oh, we got rants. We got a rant. Not ours. Somebody else's.
We love rants.